At the height of the beef, T.I. and his camp were not worried. They believed they already had the upper hand. Their confidence was clear when they celebrated having the #1 song in the country and made it known publicly. By most accounts in the rap community, they had already won the rap battle. But even then, some voices in hip-hop media were warning that winning a battle is not the same as winning a war. Soon after, the situation shifted dramatically. 50 Cent leaked what appeared to be episode 1 of a documentary project built around more than 20 sexual assault allegations connected to T.I. and his wife, Tamika "Tiny" Harris. That moment changed the entire picture of the conflict. The leak was not a full documentary episode, but rather a signal of intent, a preview of what could be coming next. To understand why the threat mattered so much, it is important to understand the history that led to that moment. The turning point began in early March 2026 when 50 Cent posted and then quickly deleted an Instagram screenshot announcing a documentary titled "Surviving T.I. and Tiny." In the caption, he referenced 20 sexual assault allegations involving the couple. Even though the post was deleted almost immediately, screenshots spread across the internet within minutes. In the digital world, once something is posted, it rarely disappears. Those who saw it understood exactly what the message meant. 50 Cent has a reputation for turning threats about documentaries into real productions, and the results have often been devastating for the people involved. This was not simply trolling. It was a calculated move. The reason the threat carried so much weight was because the allegations it referenced had been publicly discussed years earlier. The conflict between 50 Cent and T.I. itself had also been building for nearly 2 decades. The tension originally grew out of regional rivalry between New York and Atlanta in hip-hop culture. Over time, that competition slowly became personal. One of the earliest sparks came in 2008 when 50 Cent began calling T.I. a snitch. The accusation was tied to T.I.'s 2007 arrest when he was caught attempting to purchase machine guns and silencers. At the time, he faced a potential 10-year sentence, but ultimately served about 1 year. 50 Cent referenced that situation in his music and interviews, implying that the punishment did not match the severity of the charges. Those lyrics kept the accusation alive for years and became part of the long-running tension between them. For much of the following decade, the feud remained relatively quiet. Then around 2020 and 2021, T.I. began pushing publicly for a Versus battle, the online music competition where artists face each other by playing their biggest hits. 50 Cent repeatedly dismissed the idea and showed little interest in participating. Things changed again during Super Bowl weekend in February 2026. During an appearance on the Nightcap podcast, T.I. claimed that 50 Cent had once agreed to a Versus battle but later backed out. He suggested that 50 was avoiding the challenge. That statement reignited the rivalry. 50 Cent responded in the way he often does first, through social media rather than music. He reposted an old Crime Stoppers public service announcement that T.I. had appeared in years earlier. By sharing that clip, he revived the old narrative accusing T.I. of cooperating with authorities. Soon after that, he posted a photo of Tiny Harris on Instagram. The image was edited or selected in a way that many people considered unflattering, and the caption mocked her appearance. That post became the moment when the situation escalated far beyond a normal rap beef. T.I.'s son, King Harris, immediately went live on Instagram and responded with anger. During the live broadcast, he attacked 50 Cent personally and brought up the death of 50's mother, Sabrina Jackson, who was murdered when he was 8 years old. King continued mocking the situation and repeated the comments multiple times. The remarks shocked many people watching online. King framed his comments as retaliation. In his view, 50 Cent had disrespected his living mother, so he was responding in the same aggressive way. But by targeting a deceased parent, the conflict crossed a line that many fans and commentators felt should never be crossed in hip-hop. The following day, T.I. posted a video celebrating his own mother's birthday. In the video, he danced with her while one of his diss tracks played in the background. Many viewers interpreted the clip as a subtle message directed at 50 Cent, highlighting the difference between their situations. The tension continued to grow when T.I.'s other son, Demony Harris, released a diss track titled Ms. Jackson. King Harris then escalated the situation again. In a diss video, he wore a t-shirt printed with a photograph of Sabrina Jackson, 50 Cent's deceased mother. The shirt mocked her appearance and referenced her death. Even some people who supported T.I.'s side of the conflict said this step had gone too far. At that point, observers in hip-hop media began noticing something unusual. 50 Cent had gone quiet. Instead of responding with another diss track or angry posts, he stopped speaking publicly about the feud. Some analysts believe the silence was strategic. Their suspicions proved correct when the documentary Threat appeared online. Around that time, 50 Cent posted and deleted the screenshot announcing Surviving T.I. and Tiny. The title itself referenced more than 20 allegations that had first surfaced publicly in 2021. The post suggested that he was considering building an entire production around those accusations. Those allegations had originally been brought to public attention by entrepreneur Sabrina Peterson, a former friend of the couple. In January 2021, she accused T.I. of threatening her with a gun during an incident in 2009. After her accusation went public, she said that dozens of other individuals contacted her claiming similar experiences involving the couple. Within weeks, attorney Tyrone Blackburn announced that he was representing multiple accusers. Several women alleged that they had been invited to parties or hotel gatherings, given drinks that were allegedly spiked with substances, and then subjected to non-consensual acts. The allegations described incidents that reportedly occurred between 2005 and 2018. Some claims described situations where individuals said they were pressured or unable to consent due to drugs such as MDMA. Other attorneys, including Lisa Bloom, later said they were representing additional accusers. Major media outlets interviewed several individuals who described similar patterns in their experiences. Lawyers representing the accusers sent letters to authorities in California and Georgia requesting criminal investigations. They described what they believed was a pattern of abuse that had lasted for many years. These accusations became widely discussed in 2021. However, legal outcomes were limited. In May 2021, the Los Angeles Police Department opened an investigation after reports were filed by at least 2 women. By September of that year, prosecutors declined to file charges because the statute of limitations had expired for many of the alleged incidents. Around the same time, the VH1 reality show T.I. Tiny, Friends and Family Hustle was canceled. In 2024, a separate civil lawsuit was filed by a woman identified as Jane Doe under California's Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act. She alleged that she had been drugged and assaulted in 2005 after meeting the couple at a nightclub. T.I. and Tiny denied the claims and requested the case be dismissed. Later that year, a judge dismissed the lawsuit after the plaintiff failed to respond to filings from the defense. Throughout the controversy, T.I. and Tiny have consistently denied all accusations. They have described the claims as false and motivated by attempts to obtain money. They have stated publicly that they are innocent and prepared to defend themselves in court. Even so, the existence of the allegations is what gives 50 Cent's documentary Threat power. A documentary does not require a criminal conviction to shape public opinion. Its purpose is often to organize information and present a narrative that audiences can easily follow. 50 Cent's reputation as a producer also adds credibility to the Threat. Through his film and television company, he has built a record of creating successful media projects. His strategy often follows a pattern. Social media posts create controversy, public discussion spreads the story, and then a larger production expands the narrative. By the time a documentary is released, audiences are already familiar with the controversy. The production then becomes the final chapter that organizes everything into a single story. That approach has worked for him before. As the conflict continued, bloggers and commentators began claiming that 50 Cent was actively preparing the project. Around the same time, he released new music and continued posting material referencing the feud. Some observers interpreted those moves as early promotion for a larger media project. T.I. responded defiantly. In posts and interviews, he said he was ready for any challenge, including a documentary battle. He even suggested that he might produce his own documentary addressing controversies from 50 Cent's past. The conflict also involved the entire Harris family. King Harris's comments remained the most controversial part of the situation and drew criticism from several figures in the hip-hop community. Some defended him as protecting his mother, while others argued that mocking a deceased parent crossed a moral boundary. T.I. later said that he had told King to stop after the T-shirt incident. According to him, the conflict had given his son an excuse to act out in ways he had been trying to discourage. Still, T.I. explained that his overall motivation was defending his family rather than defeating 50 Cent in a rap battle. As of early March 2026, no official documentary had been announced by any network or streaming platform. No trailer or episode had been released. What existed was only the threat and the reputation of the person making it. But that threat alone was enough to change the tone of the feud. Rap battles can end with a song or a diss track. A documentary, however, can have consequences that extend far beyond music. If produced and widely distributed, it could influence public perception of T.I.'s career, business ventures, and partnerships. At the same time, the outcome is uncertain. If a documentary lacks new evidence or credible voices, it could also backfire and strengthen support for T.I. among fans who believe the accusations are exaggerated or unfair. For now, the situation remains unresolved. Some observers believe T.I. and his family won the rap battle portion of the conflict through their diss tracks and strong responses. Others believe the real battle has not started yet. The question now is whether the documentary will actually be made. If it does appear, its impact will likely have far more to do with public perception and storytelling than with rap lyrics or social media insults. The diss tracks may be finished, but the larger story surrounding the feud could still be unfolding. At the center of the controversy surrounding the threat of a documentary was the history of allegations that had first surfaced years earlier. These claims began attracting major public attention in early 2021 and became one of the most sensitive controversies connected to T.I. and his wife, Tamika "Tiny" Harris. The situation first came into the spotlight when entrepreneur Sabrina Peterson publicly accused T.I. of threatening her with a gun during an incident that she said happened in 2009. Peterson had once been close to the couple, and her accusation immediately attracted widespread attention on social media. After making the claim public, she stated that she began receiving messages from many other individuals who said they had experienced similar situations involving the couple. According to Peterson, more than 30 people contacted her privately. Several of those individuals described alleged experiences involving drugs, coercion, or sexual assault that they claimed occurred at parties, clubs, or hotel gatherings involving the couple and their associates. These stories, which allegedly took place between 2005 and 2018, quickly spread across social media and entertainment news platforms. Within weeks, attorney Tyrone A. Blackburn announced that he was representing a group of accusers who wanted their stories to be investigated. At the time, he said he represented 11 people connected to the claims. 8 of those individuals alleged direct sexual assault by T.I., Tiny, or people in their circle, while the remaining claims involved related incidents or supporting accounts. Many of the accusations shared similar details. Several women said they had been invited to parties or private hotel gatherings where drinks were allegedly given to them that contained drugs. Some claimed they became disoriented or unable to consent after consuming the drinks. According to the allegations, these situations sometimes led to sexual encounters that the accusers said were not consensual. One woman claimed that around 2010 she attended a gathering where she was pressured to take drugs before being forced into sexual acts at a hotel room. Another accuser alleged that she had been drugged and assaulted in a hotel by T.I. and an associate during the same general period. The claims described a pattern that several accusers said was repeated across different cities over many years. The allegations were not limited to anonymous posts online. Attorney Lisa Bloom later announced that she represented 2 additional women who also came forward with claims involving the couple. Media outlets began investigating the story, and reporters spoke with several individuals who described similar experiences involving parties, drinks, and situations where they said they were unable to give consent. As the claims grew in number, Attorney Blackburn sent letters to law enforcement agencies in both California and Georgia asking them to open criminal investigations. In those letters, he described what he believed was a pattern of behavior that involved manipulation, drugs, and sexual assault over a long period of time. In May 2021, the Los Angeles Police Department confirmed that it had opened an investigation after at least 2 women filed official reports. The investigation focused on alleged incidents that were said to have taken place in the Los Angeles area. However, by September 2021, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office announced that it would not file criminal charges in the cases that had been reviewed. Prosecutors explained that many of the alleged incidents were too old to prosecute because the statute of limitations had already expired. Without the ability to legally pursue the cases, the investigation did not lead to charges. Even though there were no criminal charges, the controversy had immediate effects on the couple's public career. Their VH1 reality television show, T.I. Tiny, Friends, and Family Hustle, was canceled during the same period while the allegations were being discussed publicly. The legal battle did not end there. In January 2024, a woman identified in court documents as Jane Doe filed a civil lawsuit in California. She used a law known as the Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act, which temporarily allowed some older claims to be filed even if they were normally outside the statute of limitations. In her lawsuit, the woman claimed that she met the couple in the VIP section of a nightclub in Los Angeles in 2005. According to the lawsuit, she alleged that Tiny gave her a drink that she believed had been spiked with drugs. She then claimed that she was taken to a hotel room where she was sexually assaulted while she was heavily intoxicated and unable to give consent. T.I. and Tiny strongly denied the claims and asked the court to dismiss the lawsuit. Their legal team argued that the allegations were false and that the case lacked credible evidence. Later in 2024, a judge dismissed the lawsuit after the plaintiff failed to respond to filings from the defense. The dismissal was issued with prejudice, meaning the case could not be filed again in the same form. Throughout the controversy, T.I. and Tiny have repeatedly denied all accusations. In public statements, they described the claims as false and motivated by attempts to obtain money from them. They said they would not allow themselves to be pressured into settlements over allegations they believe are untrue. In January 2024, after the Jane Doe lawsuit became public, the couple released a statement saying they were innocent and ready to defend themselves against what they described as fabricated claims. They also pointed out that no criminal charges had ever been filed against them despite the years of accusations. At the same time, T.I. filed a defamation lawsuit against Sabrina Peterson in federal court in September 2024. In that lawsuit, he argued that Peterson's public statements had damaged his reputation and business interests. As of 2026, the case was still moving through the legal system, with a trial expected later that year. While the legal system has not produced criminal charges against the couple, the allegations themselves remain part of the public record. This is the key reason why the documentary Threat carries so much weight. A documentary does not need a court verdict to present claims and testimony to a large audience. This dynamic is what observers believe 50 Cent was referring to when he teased the idea of producing Surviving T.I. and Tiny. By referencing the number of accusations and the years of controversy surrounding them, he signaled that the material for a documentary narrative already exists. The impact of such a project would depend heavily on what new information, interviews, or evidence it might include. If new accusers or detailed testimony were presented on screen, it could create renewed public scrutiny of the couple's past. If the documentary lacked strong evidence or credible voices, however, it could also be criticized as an attempt to exploit controversy for entertainment. This uncertainty is why the threat alone has already had a major effect on the conversation surrounding the feud. The battle between 50 Cent and T.I. began as a traditional hip-hop rivalry involving diss tracks, interviews, and social media insults. But the possibility of a documentary transformed the conflict into something much larger. In rap music, winning a lyrical battle is often about skill, reputation, and public perception within the culture. A documentary focused on serious allegations, however, moves the discussion into a completely different arena involving law, media, and public accountability. That shift is exactly what made the threat so powerful. Even without a finished film or an official announcement, the idea of a documentary was enough to change how many people were viewing the entire conflict.